Hi, Jason.
How you doing?
Good. How
Yes,
about yourself?
I'm doing very good too. Basically, like Triumph's back in the world, it seems. It's coming for Canadian Songwriter Hall of Fame
hmm
Legend Series. Talk to me about this. What can we expect for October 17th in Toronto?
Well, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not familiar with what their show is, other than that we're getting the getting inducted. I know they're also inducting some other artists. I spoke to Andy Kim recently, and I know he is being inducted as well. I know Gino Vanelli's being inducted, and a few more, I believe, as well. But I haven't really been briefed on it. I know that there's going to be a performance of one of our songs. Don't know for sure what that's going to be. So
Okay.
sorry not to give you a very fleshed out answer here, but I'm not really completely up to speed on what is happening.
I'm sure soon you will find out though. And it's like,
Yeah, it'll be a bit of a surprise for us too. Yeah.
so how's life for you these days? You keeping super busy still?
Yeah, I mean, aside from all the Triumph stuff, there's a lot going on in Metalworks all the time, and I'm very lucky that I've had my life surrounded by music and continue to be in music every day. So it's not like a job.
And Metalworks too, it just keeps on going. It never ends for you. It's like day to day.
Yeah, I mean, my kids have gotten into the world of metalworks with me. So we've got we're doing a lot of live events with our live event team, the sound and lighting division of metalworks. We're teaching tons of students in our school, and our studios are doing what they've always done, recording music. And we're doing a lot of community engagement as well, through I guess really through all three elements. And we started a charity that's called Sounds Unite Canada that I spent quite a bit of time working on, which is mission is to spread free music education and music wellness to kids across Canada, all students and all kind of marginalized groups. That's what our intent is on that front.
Keeping busy with music is very important for, mind and soul, etc. Like, what do you think about that? It's like you need music to be around you, won't you say?
Yeah, I think that we finally entered an era where we can see the mental benefits to music in a clearer fashion just because of the research that's being done by universities. So uh, they're producing some data now that kind of explains to us, I think, Jason, what we all knew instinctively, which is music makes us feel better. Uh, or it reduces anxiety, or it makes us feel excited, the reverse, almost the reverse, like makes us feel like fist pumping, whatever the case may be. We're starting to explain all that, um, at the university research level. And I think it's good for everyone in music to understand really the impact in the community of what we have. And it's important for the community to not take music for granted, whether it's at the governmental level or the community groups, schools, um, all sorts of let's say pillars within the community. They need to look at it. The workplace. What does music mean in the workplace? What's the benefit? But I think these things are all starting to happen. Uh, you know, um, I think they're all uh, things that we knew, but we didn't know why. It was instinctual. And whereas now I think if somebody said, I want to listen to music while I work, for example, a few decades ago, people would go, you can't do that. You can't listen to music while you work. And then, there have been studies to show under certain circumstances, it actually could be a benefit, you
Right.
know. Perhaps not if you're using a chainsaw, you might injure yourself because you can't hear properly. But yeah, there's other situations where people are actually able to concentrate better in this environment. So I think it's exciting, where music is headed.
Because there was also like a time that, to have earbuds in the ears was unrespectful and this and that. And now, you're seeing it everywhere. It's like it's
Yeah.
common practice. and God knows what the people are listening to, but it is being done.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why, you know, music that helps us with anxiety or helps us to go to sleep is completely different than the music that's great to work out by.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a fun journey with Sounds Unite and meeting some of the neuroscientists that are involved in this kind of work and learning things about music that I never knew I needed to know or would know or could explore. And yeah, it's been a really great ride. Never thought that would ever happen as a result of Triumph starting out as a rock band.
Right. Yeah, well, let's say like you take this, and how long do you foresee it really taking? Like, let's say to accomplish the complete goal of it, is it like 10 years, 20 years? How long, how many generations is it going to take to get this to the next level? Let's say.
Well, I'll tell you something very interesting. I have a dear friend. He's a heavy metal guitar player from Germany, and he studies music education, and he's a consultant on a global level about trends and emerging knowledge about music. And in my last conversation with him, he forecast that the medical and I'll say the medicinal value of music would exceed the commercial value of music within a decade,
Hmm.
which sounds like an extremely bold statement. But he's written a thesis on it, and he's a very smart man. And I think that the way things now, Jason, change very fast. Things that used to, like a boulder used to roll, so slowly. And now with AI, it seems like, you know, you blink and something new is happening. So I think we could see this in music. I think there's a global awakening
Okay.
to its value. And I think there's a quest to understand how man developed music, why it was developed. Like I know as a drummer, I look at it and I go, okay, I have a funny feeling drums was the very first instrument. I can't prove it, but it seems logical that,
Yeah.
you know, early man, the first thing they would have been able to do is just, beat something and create a rhythm. And rhythm is obviously a very, very major component of all music. And then perhaps, the first tone would have been in a drum that was a skin stretched over wood or something, or perhaps it was a hollow, an instrument that produced a whistle sound or something like that. It's quite amazing when you think back and you realize, okay, so I guess this music stuff is kind of part of human DNA. It's part of our evolution. And it perhaps explains why we have involuntary reactions, uh, both physical and mental,
Mhm.
to the sounds of music. Even if the sounds are, as I call it, God's orchestra. The birds, the waterfall, the
Yeah.
wind, the leaves rustling.
Which is
Uh,
music as well.
Yes, things we can relate to that perhaps we never considered to be music. But when you get down to cadence, rhythm, tone, melody, all of these things, and you say, hey, it's like soup, little bits and pieces of these things. They may be completely different from each other, but it's all soup. Maybe that's silly. I don't know.
No, you got a point there. And it's like we start or shouldn't start. We have to look at it, a little bit more. You know, it's kind of like going into the woods and recording avant-garde type of audio. Um, of the trees and stuff. It's still technically an album, let's say, or music. It maybe won't make the top 10 charts, but um, it's like you're playing
I
drums
mean,
or you're going recording something else.
yeah, to your point, there's a reason for music to make it to the top 10 charts. Uh, And then there's a reason for it to have a different purpose than that commercial success.
Right.
You know, it may be very much a magic bullet, like for one person reacts this way to music, another person reacts this way to music. So what it does for the first person, the second person, the third person may be entirely different, but always of benefit. And that's why it's great that there in music, there's so many genres, there's so many styles, there's so many component parts, let's say, to music, musical sounds that, that makes it a universal language. Like if there's a rhythm doesn't have, you know, a lyric, let's say. So if you had a language barrier, say you were listening to songs in a foreign language, you can't understand the lyrics. Well, what if there's no lyrics or no narration with the music, and you're strictly listening, to instrumental music or component part thereof, let's say one instrument perhaps, it becomes universal. Like I don't imagine there's anyone that likes classical music, like think of the barriers that it crosses. Like it doesn't matter what language you speak. If you're listening to Rachmaninoff,
Yeah.
you can get the gist of it in any language, let's say, because it is that universal language.
Universal language. And Triumph also did some universal language, breaking the barriers in the United States back in the day, being one of the only bands from Canada that, is still notable today and people still remember you guys, certainly Us Festival, legendary footage and stuff like that. What do you think of all that? Because it's like you guys were so lucky, but same time it just happened.
Yeah, these exploits that we had with Triumph were looking back on them, they were kind of magical times for us as young guys, and I think a lot of the time we were making music, but we didn't really know why we were making it. I mean, simplistically, we did. I mean, it wasn't as purposeful as it might seem when you look at it decades later and think, oh, there was some intent there for this outcome or that outcome. Whereas at the time, it's more, what can we do? What can we create? And you're not thinking about so much about the future of it. Does it really have legs? Is it just sort of like a passing ship in the night? Not night. You listen to it and it's in one ear out the other, or is it something that's actually got some sort of archival relevance to people that has impacted their life and is something they'll never forget? Which, of course, we find out at this stage that yeah, some things did resonate, some things did stick, and I have a lot of gratitude for the Triumph fans that just continue to, write us, beautiful notes and tell us how things, some parts of our music impacted, their lives in certain ways. Uh, so I guess as a musician, when you're starting out, you're a kid, you really don't know what you're doing, and you're trying to find your way to find out that you did something that was meaningful, that helped someone or was impactful in some way is a really nice outcome.
One other thing, you had a super big drum set back in the day. Image looked good on you guys. Your voice helped a lot, and all this imagery made Rik, let's say, with his double neck guitar. Would you say that had an impact too on the visualization on the Triumph, on what people saw out of you guys?
We had a, a view that there was an opportunity to really create, beyond just a soundscape with a hard rock band, with a power trio, because we wanted to be a power trio. That was in part of the plan. Let's call it. Uh, we'd all played in bands with more musicians, but this one we decided it was going to be three.
Hmm.
And the visuals or I don't know, I'll just call it creating some theater around the music to make the music more impactful, was something that from the outset we wanted to do. And as primitive as some of our ideas were, and of course we had no budget when we started, so it was a lot of it was just stuff we dreamed up, and it was homemade ideas. And of course, then when we were successful, we were able to get, the best lighting designers and the best set companies and all the stuff that we had. Um, we were like kids in playland. Like we loved all that stuff, and we thought the more dramatic we could make certain elements of the show, the more engaging it was for the audience. And there were other bands that went completely the other direction and said, "Oh, we're just going to stand here and we're just going to turn on a couple of lights, and we don't want any of that to get in the way of our music." So we were criticized sometimes. Um, Not as much as we were praised, though. But there was the odd critic who would go, uh, the show overshadowed the music. We got that criticism a bit, but far more, we got the reverse. We got, that there was really an impact of the theatrics mixed with the music that made the overall experience more impactful for the audience. And I think if you look at some of our videos, and especially when you can see the audience and you can see how wildly excited they are a lot of the time in our shows, it's pretty cool to look at that and say, yeah, well, I guess we had something going on.
Now, Gil, you have like live in Halifax, Fest, Sweden Rock Festival. Is there anything else, in maybe the future that was recorded that, we'll see the light of day someday, you think?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of archival materials on the band, and one of the things we're planning is and this has been ongoing for like 5 years with our lighting director. I've been working on a mixed reality platform to sort of recreate Triumph with younger musicians and bring out the original band members virtually
Okay.
into it. And I've called it the first six-piece power trio of all time. That's a joke. So that's ongoing, a lot of work taking place behind the scenes on that. And if and when it launches, it will become public knowledge, and tickets will be on sale all over North America and maybe elsewhere in the world.
To see Triumph.
Yeah, I mean that's a bit of a dream, but it's got some legs and some momentum right now, and not to give too much away on it, but yeah, that's what the plan is.
The future with AI, let's say, or
Well, AI is very strongly part of our toolkit, and one of the things we're trying to do, like the fans have let us know in no uncertain terms that the music that resonated the loudest was related to the more positive aspects of our music, positive lyrics, themes like Never Surrender. I think it's perhaps a sign of the times where people feel like the world's a difficult place. So if you have a lyric like Follow Your Heart, I Can Survive, hold on to your dreams, they're inspirational themes that resonate well right now. So we've constructed our ideas around that narrative. And that's purposeful because kind of back to the beginning of our conversation, I feel like the role of music in the community is to lift people up. And we have enough things that are difficult right now for young people, old people, everyone.
yeah,
There's just a lot of things we're seeing, bad trends in society, bad trends in the world and politics in some circles. And, let's use music as the big gun to
yeah,
bring people together. You know, we've always known it can do that, but, maybe we have to really circle the wagons, all of these musicians all around the world, and say, hey, there's a greater good here with music. I know most of my musician friends feel the same way that I do. I don't know that it's always articulated publicly. But I think there's a growing awareness among musicians that what they're doing has a greater importance than it might otherwise seem.
mm. Well, Gilmore, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. And it's like that. Good luck for the Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame Legend Series coming out in Toronto in October, and I'm sure it'll be special.
Yeah, it sure will. I mean, we're really honored to be in there. When I think of songwriters, of course, I sort of reflect on um, the generation that before us. The late great Gordon Lightfoot comes to mind. And those that are, my buddy Tom Cochran, who's, just doing great, still playing lots of shows and has written so many great songs. People like that. And Canadians, we should be really proud. I mean, you look at whether it's the Jonies or the Neil Young and or Gordon or Tom, all these people that are Canadians that are fantastic uh, writers. Something that we should really be proud of as Canadians.
One final thing, I seen that you did an interview recently with the late great Sean McKenna, Barstools and Band Talk. Um, we just lost him a few weeks ago. He
I did
recently,
not know that. I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah. So I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but I just
I
want
was
to,
not. I'm sorry.
yeah. He's going to be very well missed, and he admired you as a drummer, and just wanted to put that up on the internet. It's it's sad when we lose a person that has lots of care for music, and sharing passion of interviews and just promoting your own work. So yeah, just wanted to mention that to you.
Thanks for sharing that with me. That's sad news.
Yeah. All right. Well, you have a good one, and thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me today. Enjoyed
Thank
it.
you, Jason. Enjoyed meeting you.
All right. You have a good night.
All the best.
All right. Bye.